America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Does anybody want to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 11th meeting as presented by the clerk.
I'll second.
Councilor Trombley made a motion that the minutes of the April 11th, 2011 regular town board meeting be approved as submitted by the town clerk, seconded by Councilor Dudley. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed?
At this time, we'll open the floor up for public comments. If you're going to address the board, please stand, state your name, and whatever you'd like to discuss. I know Tom's got to discuss something with us tonight. Tom Tatro?
Tom Tatro. I'm Town of Chazy Youth Commission Supervisor. The backstop down at the West Chazy Rec Park, it's on the Beavertown, or actually, you got me saying Beavertown. The West Chazy Fire Department, it's on their property, but we do use that backstop. I spoke with the chief, and they had a fire commissioners meeting the other night, and I'm not really sure. I think they were looking for some numbers to split the cost with us to put a new backstop up. I called BSN Sports, who we primarily deal with, and they gave us a really nice quote for $1,976, and that's a 20-foot backstop across the back, and then 10 feet wing on one side and a 10-foot wing on the other side. They're cutting us a deal for, she's taking about $523 off the price. It's going to be about $158 for shipping. I called, this was just put on my plate this morning, so I really didn't have a lot of stuff to get for you guys. I did make some phone calls today to J&B Fencing, C&E Fencing, and I haven't heard from any of those guys back yet. I did call Lowe's, and I went down to Lowe's this morning, and we'd have to special order the chain link because they only sell it in a 6-foot, and this would be a 10-foot backstop, so it'd be a special order, but they can get it. He didn't really have the prices on himself at the time, so.
Can you give me a little background of what's there now? And
What's there right now, I'm sure if anybody that's driven by there in the last 60 years has been a backstop. Tom probably played catch back there when he was little.
Wow.
It's old. And the backstop was probably there before he was. So what happened was last year, they're old telephone poles. And what happened last year is one of them gave way and they patched it, and then this spring with all the wind and stuff, it really gave way and it was just swinging in the wind, and it took another post out, and all that's holding, I think they're working on it right now.
They are.
And I think all that's holding it right now is the chicken wire. It's in bad shape. You can go up to it and grab it and shake it. I've been fielding phone calls for the last week and a half from people calling and asking what we were going to do about it, and explaining to them that we can't do anything about it because it's on the fire department's property.
Now, would the fire department install the new backstop?
I think I could round up a couple guys that could install a backstop.
The price you just said, was that half or was that the full amount?
The 19, that's the full amount.
That's the full amount.
Yeah, with shipping, it would be $2134.08, and then we'd have to purchase concrete, obviously, to set the post.
And that was after her discount?
Yes, that's after her discount. Yep. that 2134 is shipping and the back stop. And that's everything. I think if we went with an else like C&E or JV or Freedom Fence, we're gonna pay for the fence and we're gonna pay for them to put it up. And we might be doubling what we're gonna spend.
So with the
And-
concrete, is it safe to say around 2,500?
Yeah, that's safe, probably less than that.
And this field is utilized by the,
Yes, it is. Yep, we use it for baseball, and it's our peewee boys, our pony girls, and our peewee girls. And the firemen use it for their recreational. And we use, well, we don't use the backstop, but we do use that field for our mites soccer after the season's over. So we do use that area. It's, and
And you think that they might pay for half of it?
I wasn't at the commissioners meeting. Jerry, did you talk to your brother or?
I think they will. There wasn't a unanimous yes, but I think they will. But we didn't have prices, or,
Right.
my brother brought the issue up at the commissioners meeting, but there were no prices or anything, so, now that Tom has prices, I'm not sure when the next meeting is, or they could probably even get together, to, or call each other or something, if we decide that we will go for the other half, if they will go for half.
So the money that's in our budget for the swim program that we're not having this year, can we use that for this? Because this is a safety issue that we're
Yeah.
talking about.
how about a portable backstop? Have you looked into those?
They're more expensive.
Are they?
And what would we do with it in the wintertime?
It's for the swim program, isn't it, like 2,250?
It's 2,200.
2,200 in swim.
2,200, so we would have enough in that budget. Okay.
Tom, do we have any formal agreement with use of that for our, athletic programs? As far as the field, no?
I don't think we've ever had.
I think it's
No,
always
I
just
think
a
so.
handshake.
I think it was just a verbal.
Which is,
They
it
let
would
us
be
use
nice
it,
if
we
we're
take
gonna
care.
make that improvement to their property, that we have something tied to 5-year use agreement or something, so it justifies our expenditure of,
I agree.
not that they wouldn't continue to do it by handshake, but it would be nice to cover that state comptroller or whoever else is looking at our
Mhm.
reasons for spending or improving other property.
So should we wait and find out what the figures are and find out if the fire department's willing to split it with us?
Well, I think
Yeah.
I think we can't afford to wait another month.
Yeah.
If we make the resolution contingent on the fire station, or the fire district approving, then he can move ahead with ordering it.
But what do we do in the event that they don't want to pay for half? We're talking about a safety hazard here. Talking, then where will the kids play?
It's not enough.
Where will they go?
Oh, there's another field there that they could play on, correct?
Correct. That'd be, you have games,
It's
you
not
have
really big enough
practices.
though, is it?
It's not for the pony girls
Not for the
and not for the peewee
older
boys. It's not
kids.
big enough.
So it would mean having to
So
move
you-
their games
That
someplace
would,
else.
yeah, it'd be
And where would
moving
we,
their games.
Somebody would have to
Yep,
go to another field.
I mean, if the fire department uses it, I don't see why they wouldn't approve the expense as well, so. I agree with Jerry, we make the motion that contingent with
Yeah,
the fire department.
and our backup plan will be,
but you're getting close.
yeah, games start June 6th.
June.
Backup plan, we'd have to.
Oh, let's hope they're, well, I mean, how much more is a portable one, because we have to spend the money, why would we wanna keep it permanently there if we can relocate it? If we're gonna spend,
That's something you can easily draw.
Yeah, you can drag it with the tractor.
We only have room for one field over there, right?
That's
So
the
we got
one
two fields.
that I had pros.
No,
Yep.
but with the fire department, we got two on the other
That's why I
side?
already have
One on the other side.
That's a 10.
One.
There's two fields total.
But that's two bigger fields.
Total.
And then what's the portable one? Because you could go with the smaller one.
You have a portable one there.
Yep, how much is that one?
That's, $20.99.
So there's really not a big difference, and you don't have to pay the cement that way. So actually, it's cheaper in the long run. Right?
And I'd rather have something there permanent, to tell you the truth. Because I don't want to go there one night and have somebody towing it around in the back of their four-wheeler,
Right.
you know.
Well, you could,
It's
we laugh, but it
Good,
could
good
happen.
point,
And
good
these
point.
are,
Yeah, America would have.
they have, we
Yeah,
use
it would
this
happen.
for JV baseball, and they're garbage. They don't hold up, they're not made to last.
Well, I would imagine the more you pull that around and move it.
Yeah, it's
You're
twisting
losing
it. Yeah.
Wouldn't last as long as me.
They're looking for a catcher on the pony team.
Now I gotta release from Beavertown. And they have.
See, you don't want these because the ball will go deep inside, you
Right.
gotta get them out,
Yeah,
so.
these are more of your batting practice.
Yeah, yeah, those wouldn't be feasible.
Yep.
Okay, so,
So basically, we're looking at spending $1,250.
yep,
And you're confident you can get someone to,
Huh?
you're confident you can get someone to
I'm
help?
more than confident. I know right where he lives.
Is he looking at you?
I don't think so.
I don't want you.
I'm busy there.
I know he's not looking at me.
Chris?
I'll go see him for lunch after.
That's it.
Dicky's arms almost out healed.
Catcher.
Can I make a motion then, or?
I'll make the motion that we
I'll second it.
spend up to the $1,250 contingent on, I hate to say it, but contingent that wishes either.
Okay, motion's been made by Kathy Devon, excuse me, second by Councilor Trombley, to authorize the town board, let the town board authorize the town to pay for half of the new backstop at the ball field on the West Chazy Fire District's field, contingent that the fire department, fire district pays the other half. Any more to add to
Do
that?
we wanna put something in like Bill said?
Yeah, we should add
Should we
that.
do it in with that or do something
Yeah,
separate?
sure. And also continue on their agreeing to allow the use of the field by
For
the
10
For
years.
10
rec,
years or something?
for
For 10
creating
years.
no less than whatever you want.
10 years.
Increase the use of the field for how long?
10
10
years.
years.
Or until such backstop needs to be replaced. No, I'm just.
Well, we have a long time, if it lasts as long as the one there did.
It lasts as long as, no,
Yeah.
we're all set.
Because that's old.
Now, is that something,
Backstop or
We want to put a
Tom?
figure in here?
$1,250.
Well,
That's,
is that something that you should write up that we
Yeah,
can send
right.
to them
Maximum
or
1250.
can it be just
Letter to, you mean to
to the,
oh, as far as the use agreement, sure.
the fire district?
Yeah, if they agree to do it, then we can send them something.
so you want me to write them on your list?
Or have Bill or somebody?
If they agree on it, I think we should send them the resolution. If they agree and willing to cover half the cost, then we can send them
Okay,
the use agreement for the
so there's
field.
something formal in our.
Yeah.
What happens if they don't agree?
We're in trouble.
we'll have to do another
Cross that bridge
resolution.
when we get there.
Excuse me.
Okay, we have the motion and seconded. Roll call, or any further discussion? Roll call, Councilor Lattimore,
Yes,
Councilor Dino,
Yes.
Councilor Devon,
Yes.
Councilor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Spiegel.
Yes. Would anybody else like to address the board?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. We had a county meeting tonight, of course, Tom Sears. We had a county meeting tonight, public safety meeting at 5:15. And Eric Day gave us an update on the flood situation as he knows it now. There was 535 structures along the lake in the county that were damaged by water. To what extent, they don't know. 535 structures. They got a new website out this week. It's ClintonCountyGov.com, and you can get information on paperwork that has to be filed or different items pertaining to flood. That's gonna be, they're gonna push this. They just came up. SEMO came in or SEMO, through the conversation, they did not come in. I wanna correct that, they did not come in. Through the conversation, the lake is 3 feet of flood stage. And if we have clear weather for the next 3 weeks, 17 to 21 days with clear weather, they assume the lake will go back to the 100-foot level, but it's gonna take that long. And SEMO is not gonna come in until after the lake level is dropped to assess the situation. You know, they'll just keep, when the lake drops, they'll assess the river, lake bank erosions, all damage to that. Now, FEMA, if this is to happen, FEMA will come in and take care of all the municipalities and towns first, what they can do. We don't know the answer to that. We're competing with Texas wildfires, the Mississippi River, all the hurricanes and tornadoes in Alabama, and this is, and New York has to come up with 25 million for the governor to apply for the disaster, which you all saw that on the news. Right now, as we stand, Clinton County is around a $4 million figure of damage, and I'm not sure where Franklin and Essex are sitting right now. But Clinton County had the least damage of the other 2 counties. It was assumption on Mr. Day's part tonight, around 11 million in Essex and maybe 9 million in that area in Franklin. But this 25 million is the whole state. It's just not the flood zone. It could be the trouble we were having up near Rochester. They had a terrific windstorm up there I believe it was last Wednesday. 42 power poles got blown down in one storm, 84-mile-an-hour wind. So that's another thing that everybody is looking, but this is the update. It's ClintonCountyGov.com. Get on their computers and find out the information. They're telling us tonight possibly could be a bump in the road for this county for a couple of years.
I just want to expand on that. I went to the meeting the other day with Frank Slycord, and basically wasn't all too positive. I mean, they want people to hold tight. They gotta wait for the water to go down before anything really happens. One thing that they did mention though is that if anybody cut power to their house, they're gonna have to get a hold of the codes officer first to go down and inspect the home, make sure that the panel's okay to even turn it back on again. So we're gonna have to get something in the paper to let residents know that they just can't go back into their house and start fixing it up. I mean, they're gonna have to wait and get it inspected and make sure it's safe, because they wanna make sure everything is safe first.
That's right, and that's right. And like I said, you attended with the supervisor, and then tonight Eric came in at the public safety and presented it. Everybody's working together, but people want it done immediately, and it's not, the homeowners might not see it for a couple of years.
They mentioned that they're not gonna make them whole again. They want people to take pictures of everything, keep track of everything that they've lost. I mean, for our departments, to keep track of every single thing we do. But they said they're not gonna make the people whole. I mean, they're gonna be lucky if they get a small portion of it, and it could be a loan or it could be a grant. So it's gonna be very tough on these people.
It's gotta be decided if they're even gonna come in. That's the sad part. Anyway, I know it's not good news by far, but at least I wanted to give you an update of our meeting tonight. And, as far as the projection, again, on sales tax, we're having a finance meeting Wednesday night and then a regular board meeting Wednesday night, so then next month I'll have an update on the sales tax, which looks like it's pretty decent, but I haven't seen the figures yet. That's all I got, sir.
And just going back to that, just so the residents of Chazy know that we did declare a state of emergency effective 4/28. And the state of emergency is only good for 5 days, so every 5 days, I have to go in and just sign another paper extending it. So that anything that we do for the residents, you know, obviously, hopefully, we'll get some reimbursement. Some of the things that was interesting though, they did not pay for straight time for our men, they only pay for overtime.
That's right.
They don't pay for comp time. So it's, you know, they're offering very little, but interesting facts.
Talking about the flooding as well, stuff, what happens to these people where they had their seawalls that were demolished or their, you know, part of their land? Do they have to talk to somebody from the Marine Corps of Engineers or DEC before they rebuild that? Or can they go back to the way that it was before? Has anybody discussed that with you? Or?
Not really. Nothing was said at the meeting about it.
Anything's done the shoreline below 99.8 feet has to go through DEC and Army Corps of Engineers.
So even though they had it up once before and it got washed away and they want to rebuild it, it has to go back through? Okay. Just so that people will know that they just can't start rebuilding right away, they're gonna have to go through the steps.
They may not make them get a permit, but it still has to go through
Okay.
those agencies.
I think that's good information.
Well, I'm sure the main reason is so they don't redesign
Exactly.
what they originally had there, correct?
Right.
Anybody else like to address the board? Okay, we'll close public comment session. I'm gonna go around the table from you, Bill, we'll go around this way tonight. Sure. You have anything for us?
Well, there was a discussion at the last meeting regarding acceptance of sewer improvements, or laterals, if you will. The district is extended or expanded, and in the water law, Stav, you indicated there was some provision in the water code that does provide for dedication of the facilities once the developer, if you will, has extended or expanded those services. And in the water law, they have to make the request to the town board accepts them, then they also have to apply for, once the service, the line is dedicated to the town, they have to provide a 1-year guarantee. The sewer code is silent on that. It doesn't mean you couldn't accept a sewer improvement. The district could still, the town board on behalf of the sewer district, could still accept an improvement like that, but the law is silent. In discussing with Stav, perhaps you want to amend your sewer code to make it clear that you would have the same requirements as you do with the water code, and I can draft that for the next meeting. You know, we need to have a public hearing on it, assuming it's, depending on whatever comments come out in public, you would then have the same provision in the sewer code. You could accept the improvements, but again, subject to the owner or the developer who made that improvement guaranteeing it for at least 1 year after the improvements. And all of these things are, you know, it's not something that can be improved without permission or permits from the town anyway, and you have to supervise it and make sure that it's being installed in accordance with what you would eventually want to or be willing to accept. So, if the town board is so inclined, I can draft that up for the next meeting.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
If we're gonna accept one, we should have the same
Same,
language in the other.
No further report.
Well, as Tom alluded to, as far as damage to the roads, nobody will know until the water recedes. You see what, right now, it looks like it's gonna be minimal as far as damage. I'm sure we got some washouts, but I don't think we got any that's gonna be catastrophic. Everybody's been working together, getting stuff done, keeping the ball rolling up there, so. On this next subject, it's with very mixed emotions that I'm gonna make this statement. I've made the decision that I'm retiring June 30th of this year. So, like I said, it didn't come easy, but
Congratulations and good luck to you.
thank you.
I don't know
I
what
just
else
want
to
to
say.
mention, Dick, that, you know, in your absence, Timmy has done a hell of a job.
Yes.
I've gotten so many calls and, you know, people that needed sand, and they created a sandbag making machine up there, I guess, out of one of the sanders.
That was done last winter.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just read it from what was in the paper, but I'll tell you, those guys have been great. I mean, they worked on
They did a
weekends.
good job.
They did a fantastic job, so I wanna give the highway department, you know, a lot of praise for, you know, during this disaster, they did a great job.
You sure you really wanna do that? You're too young to retire.
No, but I am. I said with mixed emotions, but yes.
All the best to you, congratulations, you did a great job, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Excellent. Anything else, Dick, or?
No.
any other-
No, that's it.
Chris?
I had, just wanted to thank the highway department and the fire department for their help during the flooding, first of all. And, wanted to know, we had an update on the, Facebook site.
It's up.
Okay.
It's up, it's amazing how many hits we get, I put something on there and it was viewed by 158 people. It just shocks me, you know, it's amazing how, you know, I'm just putting things out about what's happening with the, you know, the damaged flooding. We did the state of emergency and, just to let people know that there's more information coming, and I'm just putting out blurbs about what we know, and, but it's amazing how many people look at it and read it. And
Is that right on our website?
it's on, you go to Facebook and you just go to Town of Chazy and it'll come right up.
But is there a link off our website, I think is what Kathy?
Oh, no, we have not put that yet, but I can do that, that's a good idea.
Any update on the Ingraham Road yet? Has the county gotten back to you?
The only thing about that
Return.
was I did contact our lawyer on that subject, and let's read what he said, but he said in his opinion, we should continue, that it's 50-50, and that he thinks that the county kind of overstepped their bounds a little bit, but, so we need to make a decision on if we wanna pursue this or not, but in his opinion, he thinks there's a good 50% chance that we could win it though.
Do we have the report back on the AT&T cell tower, going on the water tower?
No,
No?
nothing yet. I called Mr. Comey, and he has not heard anything. He just said, you gotta sit tight, it's gonna take him a while to respond. And he said, as soon as I hear something, I'll give you a call.
Okay.
This was from Mark Rogers, going back to that. It says, odds are hard to calculate, but I believe the county has overstepped their authority on this situation. Based on the information I have, I think 50-50 is reasonable. So,
So what,
it's up to
I
us
mean,
rather
what?
than-
should we decide what we're gonna do?
I think
This
so.
to rest, it's
What?
been 2 years.
Yeah.
What are you talking about money-wise?
Yeah,
We have approximately, just from his first encounter, a little under $400 spent right now.
I don't think we should accept the road because of the dire need of repair. I think it's gonna cost the town too much to get it in working order, and that's based upon what?
Well, I think there's two issues here, whether or not we're gonna accept it or not is one thing, whether or not it's ours to begin with is the other. And if it's ours to begin with, I think our stance is that we want the entire length of what's ours. And I think that's what we're gonna have to fight for, we're gonna have to take the good with the bad. Because according to, I don't know if Mr. Rogers will come up with anything else, there's nothing deeded showing other than, in, I think it's 57, from the state of New York to the towns of Chazy and Beekmantown, the old portion of Route 9, once the new portion was open. And there's no other transfer to the county for those roads. I'm sure there's something on record to the county records back around those dates. The county didn't come up here and say, we like Chazy, we like Beekmantown, we're gonna take this road for you. There's something that was done somewhere that the county took that road instead of the town of Chazy, but Tom might remember, he's old enough.
That was before the
That laid the
backstop.
groundwork, huh?
No, he was looking at the backstop then. Yeah, he wasn't thinking the road.
Sorry, Tom. Nothing personal.
Sounded it to me, Tom.
Nothing against you, Tom.
Yeah.
I understand.
Tom, what is your take on this, as we've been going through this? I
Well,
mean,
the only information that
through
I've
the
gotten, I
legislature and-
contacted Mr. Roscoe, and they said the road belonged to Chazy, was never deeded to the county, it went directly to the town. And that was he said the paperwork was forwarded up here. I checked, as representative of the area, and he said the paperwork was formed up and there was never any deed from the state to the county, but it was turned over to the town. There's no record that the county ever owned it.
Well, according to Mr. Rogers, I don't even know if that was legal from the state, the way he explained it to us, so.
I don't know either, but I did check into it, and,
but the fact that they were paying
But-
us to maintain it all those
Yeah.
years was a mistake?
Yeah.
You guys gave us the snowplow for years.
Yeah.
That's our road, why?
And it used to be on the county highway, they got chip money for that road.
Mhm.
so,
The county did.
it's a real, Mr. Favreau could tell you, it's a real gray area when you come to abandoning or transferring roads, and you'll find out in your town, I don't wanna labor this, but you'll find out in your town, you'll have very few roads, if any, unless there's a new subdivision deeded to your town. When you look into your deed file for roads, you're gonna find there's no deeds for these town roads. They're all highway by use. And it doesn't make a difference where the surveyor's pin go. That highway was there for 10 years, that belongs to the town. But it's a little offset of what I'm talking about for the county. But it's a very, very gray area.
Yeah, but we're not really talking about a landowner, we're talking about the county to us.
Right.
Right.
No, and all I was saying is, when you look for deeds, there's no deeds for town roads, the old town roads were never deeded.
And the amazing part to me is that even to this day, there's no drawings of the roads the way they are right now. The last thing they have is that 1953 sketch of the old Route 9. There's nothing up to date by the county.
I don't know if I went back to the Donovan plan or one of the plans that years ago, it was all talk about the Donovan.
I think what happened, they cleaned out the filing cabinet and all that stuff got thrown out.
What happened was the county wanted to get rid of
Okay,
it.
there was no deeds.
Their
That's
deeds
what
on
happened,
rotten
right?
roads, is what they did. It wasn't only Chazy. They turned all their roads that they didn't want anymore, that were costing the county money to maintain, they, through this 502, was it, the highway law?
115, the highway law, but
Yeah,
anyway, there's a provision. That's how this all came up. I mean, they were proposing to convey this road as, they went through the whole county, and any road that wasn't really part of the county highway system, or what they considered to be part of the county highway system, didn't connect up to another county road or state road or things of that nature. They went through and throughout the county, or asked the municipalities to accept them. A lot of municipalities did. I think what happened here was that Dick said, well, no, I don't want that road unless you pave it. I mean, it's in bad shape. If you do that, and then I'll accept it. That's probably how it, and then in further research, the county discovers that, well, wait a minute, we may not even own that road, there's a problem here. Or that at least it appears that when they realigned Route 9, the state turned around and deeded it to the town, so that the town already owns it. And that's where it sits at this point. They don't feel, because otherwise, under the highway law, there's a whole procedure that you can go through if the municipality won't accept it. Then, if the county still wants to pursue it, they make an application, a petition to DOT, New York State Department of Transportation, and they conduct a hearing and then make a finding as to whether or not the road will be turned over. In this case, it's not moving any further because the county is just throwing up their hand and saying, we don't own it, you still own it. Dick's point is that there's another part in that transfer of the road after the part they want to transfer to you that would be also owned by the town.
Right.
So Dick's sort of saying, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. We're not taking the bad part without the good, but if you wanna take, if you're saying we own the whole thing, we'll take the whole thing. Right?
That's correct.
Yeah, because really what happened was the state then turned all of old Route 9, from Route 9 through to Route 9,
Yeah.
over to the towns. A section of Beekman Town would go to Beekman Town, the other section to Chazy. But somewhere along the way, the Stratton Hill Road, which came into it, they stretched it out to Route 9.
Exactly.
And they want to keep that as all Stratton Hill Road.
Right.
And then the Reynolds Road up to the Ingraham Road is county road. So they want to keep that little section there,
Because it makes sense,
to
part
have
of
the
the
county
highway
roads
system.
come
Right.
together and then let the town keep the other. But
Has there
somewhere
been,
along the way, they have to make a transfer to do all this.
has there been some meetings, other than just back and forth with letters or other things? I mean, it's something that,
Well,
It would
Scott
seem
and,
to me.
I think Chris
Yeah,
met
you
with
went and met
Mr.
with-
Pasino, but it was not with Al, I don't think.
He's just kind of avoiding the issue at this point.
And he understood where we came from, and he, with the condition of the Ingraham Road, he said, yeah, you know, I can understand your concerns as far as taking the road in the condition that it's in. But he didn't feel the county wanted to, spend money to,
And as
repair it.
Tom was just alluding to about using the highway, it becomes a highway for the town, but it should be
Well,
the same with the county.
it's a
The
little
county used that road and got chips for all these years, why don't they just keep that road?
well, highway by use, really, he's correct, there is after 10 years, but really that's, it's not, doesn't apply to between municipalities, you know, it really applies to private landowners and things like that, so they can't then put up a fence and say, well, I own this land, and the highway, or the township, or the county never acquired, ownership, even though it's been used for more than 10 years. A highway by use is exactly how most roads were established and whatnot, but this is a different twist, you know.
The simple thing is for the county to keep their own road and to keep that road and it's established county road. And,
Or sit down and figure it out between us.
well, there's something, you're right, something has to come to a head, yeah.
So do we want Mr. Rogers to continue, or?
I think we should.
Well, I think he should at least find out if there is more, if there's a transfer
The
somewhere.
county don't want nothing to do with it, they wouldn't compromise nothing. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know, I've stayed out of it on the county side too.
Yeah, okay.
Don't you think? I mean, we should find out if there was a transfer at least somewhere.
I don't think, well, didn't you have James Carlin already do that stuff?
Yeah, there's no records. You
No
found out
That
there's
was
no
an
records.
extra, yeah.
That,
Abstract.
that was already done. So that, and he showed that there was no transfer.
Did you give that to Mr. Rogers, the abstract that we had done, you remember?
Yeah, I gave him all copies of everything we had.
Well, maybe you could just get an estimate as to what the cost would be and what the procedure he would be proposing to follow, so that you know if you're going to approve it, what you're looking at for cost.
And then see if he could go with a meeting.
Yeah.
With Al.
Is there a way we can come up with a figure
You know,
somehow?
I mean, does Al make?
What it's gonna cost us?
What, is that Al's
One way or
decision
the
on
other.
his own, or does it go in front of the legislature?
No.
Who,
He goes in front of the legislature.
Well, he presented it to, I believe, the Transportation Committee. Transportation Committee approved all the roads, or some of the, I don't know what they approved or didn't approve, and then it goes back. So it has to go from Mr. Rascal to the county, the Transportation Committee, then to the whole body, and then approved or disapproved.
And the only one that didn't come to the legislature was that road because it wasn't deeded to the county. All the others came to the county, and then they went back to the towns, and the towns that agreed or disagreed or whatever. But I guess they got it pretty much resolved because, and then if they can't get it resolved between the two, then it goes, like Bill said, to the state,
Yep.
and the state will make a ruling on it, and you gotta live with that ruling.
Yeah. 8 other municipalities all accepted the.
Because I questioned it at,
Trying to say,
I did question it at transportation, why that road wasn't on, because I was representing Chazy, and they said because the county never owned it, it was never deeded state to the town, so then that took that right out of play.
Well, when they took over responsibility for it, doesn't it lay in their lap?
I'm not the attorney, you know, I'm telling you what I know about it, and.
No, but how
when
many
you go to
years?
the legislative
You're talking back
bodies-
in the 50s.
And with claims like that, usually municipalities don't carry the day. They usually don't. You know, it's like adverse possession, you know, it was 10 years, but that could never happen against a municipality. It turns out the town owned property and somebody was squatting on it and whatnot. That can go on for 50 years and the town can still claim rights to its property. So,
Okay, I'll wait for Mr. Rogers and find out some kind of cost and what he anticipates he's gonna do, and bring it back to the next meeting. Anything else, Chris?
Update on the vault, where do we stand with the vault at this point?
Very slow. They've got it framed out there for the maintenance room, but, I mean, they've been so busy with the pump station and, they've been doing a lot of other things, so they've got it framed basically and some wiring done, but, and Tom's gonna be out, starting
His last day will be Wednesday.
Wednesday. This Wednesday, he's getting his knee operated on, or,
No, his surgery isn't until July.
oh, so he's taking some vacation time. So he'll be out starting Wednesday for a while,
Okay.
so it's.
So when are we expecting a completion date?
I have no idea right now.
Then we get rid of the other problem.
Once we get our pump situated, we got a pump station that's in bad shape at Renner, so we're just waiting for it to come in. We got a probe, we had to order a probe the other day, it was another $1,000. The pump was 4,200 or 4,300, and so we're just trying to get that resolved.
Light was flashing down here on Old Line Farm Road too, in New Hampshire.
Okay, I'll have to go down and get the number and
It
everything.
was flashing.
Okay.
And the final thing, the rec parks are now open for the
Yes.
spring and summer activities.
Yes.
Could you just go through the rules for the rec park, you know, for people want to have a gathering or?
Basically, what they have to do is to contact for the Chazy ballpark, they have to call Tom Botten. He's our coordinator of that park. And in Scioto, it's Adrian Dutel. And in West Chazy, it's Tom Pedro. So they want to use the park for a special event or anything, just call one of those individuals. Numbers are on our website, www.townofchazy.com.
And the usage of the picnic tables at the park?
They're able to use the picnic tables, electricity, bathrooms, everything should be open.
But as far as them coming off from the town property, is there a restriction for people?
As far as coming
Should
home.
be
Taking
Or
the-
somebody borrowing.
Oh, yes, they have to contact the coordinator and tell them how many they're taking and make sure that they're brought back. If they're not brought back, there's gonna be some fines and,
And the condition.
yes, same condition.
Okay, yeah, I just want, and could you probably just put a tidbit in Town Talk on that?
Sure.
You know,
If we have time, I know it's gonna be printed pretty soon, so,
yeah, that's why it's coming out on
16th, it
the, yeah.
says.
yeah, I'll see if I can,
I had a couple other things for that, like the summer sports sign up,
it's
to
on.
go in there.
Summer sports sign up, in fact, I've got it right here. And I was gonna let you know what kind of camps and when they are dated, but this is on our website.
But is that
And-
going to Town Talk also? That's what I'm asking.
I believe she's just putting that in, right?
Okay.
Okay, and also, we did put it on Facebook that, to go to our town website and to print off the forms, so it's easily accessible. We've had a number of people bring them in over the last week or so. You can either give them to Tom, or they can bring them here to the town office. Just to let you know, I was gonna bring that up actually while we're on the subject though. Tom has coordinated a baseball camp from June 28th, 29th, and 30th. It's age group, I believe, 6 and up, if I'm not mistaken. There's a softball camp gonna be at the same time, June 28th, 29th, and 30th. That's gonna be location in West Chazy Town Park. The baseball camp, to go back to that, is at Chazy High School and all the different town fields, or just Chazy?
Wherever Brian feels he can coordinate that Yes.
There'll be 3 instructors for that. There's a reading camp, July 12th, 13th, and 14th, and that's for kindergarten through 5th grade. We expect about 30 from West Chazy, 10 from Chazy.
I have numbers right now if anybody's interested. Just the stuff that I've gotten in so far.
Now, where's that, the library?
We're breaking it up. The Chazy one is gonna be here, and the West Chazy one is at Dodge.
And there's a street hockey camp.
Yep.
Mites through Pee-wees, August 9th, 10th, and 11th.
That's where,
That's 5 years old and up, and that's West Chazy tennis courts.
Yep.
So,
and how are the signups for the,
Baseball, 22 so far. Softball, 10 so far. Street hockey, 14. Reading camp in Chazy, 10, and West Chazy at 7.
but this was just put out.
Yeah, it's only been out a week and a half,
Oh, so,
so
yeah.
Perfect.
I'm sure there'll be a lot more.
I'm sure, yeah, as soon as baseball really gets going.
Mhm.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Very good.
Excellent.
Yes.
Anything else, Chris?
No, that's everything.
Terry?
Just a couple other things for the town talk thing. Did you put in there also the swimming program is canceled?
I did not, but I'll do that too.
And the new codes guy, I assume he has, his hours are gonna be in there?
It was in the paper the other day too.
And I had put also for reminder of the park hours and contact numbers.
Okay. I'll put it on Facebook too about the swim program.
I also just wanted to say thanks to the highway department and the fire departments for their help. And did Gina accept the, Gina
Yes, she did.
Yes.
Yep, she
planning
came in and
board.
drove.
Okay.
You did.
Yes.
And last month in the budget expenditures, the hockey money wasn't paid out.
Yeah,
Are we doing
we're gonna talk about that at budget time because we gotta decide. This year, we had already said yes for this year, but for next year, we gotta decide what we're gonna be doing with that for budget time.
Okay, so they didn't get a full amount.
If we're gonna give them a full amount or if we're gonna break it
Okay.
out, we gotta decide that.
Alright. And how about the JCO position, is that,
Haven't heard anything from them yet. Still being manned part-time, I guess, by somebody who has experience, but they haven't hired anybody as far as I know. They said they'd get a hold of me as soon as they were waiting for the budget to come out, so I just haven't heard if they got their money or didn't get their money.
alright. And how about the new maintenance guy, is he still doing,
Very good. That's working out very well.
and he's ready to go now that Tom's going
Yeah, I
out?
mean, I think he's pretty much ready. He did, we had to get it through one time of flushing and another time of reading the meters, and they've been busy. They've had a lot to do with the pump stations,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they haven't had any downtime at all, and Tom showed them how to open the parks. And so I think Tom will be a phone call away if he's got a question or a concern, but I think he's
Does he
very
seem-
capable.
Does he seem happy and contented in the
Yeah.
job?
Yeah,
Pretty much
very
what he-
nice gentleman.
It's pretty much what we told him it would be.
And actually, just to expand a little bit too, as soon as he gets a little more comfortable with this job, we are gonna train him for water and sewer. And Dave knows all about it, and he's all for it. He said, Dave said he can work with him, he can go to the water station and start in advance, meet him there at whatever time in the morning he tells him, and, spend time with him, so he gets to know before he goes to classes, so, eventually maybe we can consolidate this, and Dave says, I don't know what I'm gonna be doing in 3 years. He said, it's a great idea to have him trained, and so we'll send him to school. It's only like two weeks for the water school, and then the sewer, he's gotta work under somebody for 2 years. So it'd be nice to get him trained. and,
Right.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Very good.
nice that Dave's willing to do this for us too.
That's it.
Kathy, anything?
Okay, well, also thank you to the highway department and the fire department for all their help, and congratulations, Dick, we'll miss you, for sure. The only other thing that I had that some people haven't already asked is, we had a question about the language for the water and sewer and the O&M concerning Presbyterian Church.
We're gonna go over that in a minute.
Okay, that's all, then I think I have.
nothing new on the plant? Still the same, still the same?
Nothing at all. In fact, I got a meeting Wednesday, another Pfizer meeting on Wednesday, so I'll know more. But
You
nothing
get updated?
earth shattering.
Nothing new on that wish list, huh? That we were working on, you said you were working on something?
The wish list is pretty much dead at this time. We, remember before we, decided not to take the money, there was stuff on
Yeah.
there, but
Didn't we take the money instead?
You can't take the money.
Oh, I thought.
No,
How
it's
come,
under-
how come we
It's
can't
gonna
take the
cost
money?
too much to get the money to use it, so.
Right.
Well, I don't know why it would cost us anything, we're the ones that
Because
pushed
you
the
have to,
project to save it.
you have to spend so much to get it, Bucket. That's what they
the
said.
items that were on our list, though, we just decided that it's not worth taking $180,000 and putting ourselves in debt that much, that we
Okay.
can just pay for things over the years. There wasn't that much on Dave's wish list, so we just told them that we didn't want it, and we closed it out.
Okay. Time Warner,
Nothing.
nothing. The building down over the, cover the sewage.
We got the plans to one of the engineers that's supposed to stamp it, and he wanted to make some changes, so he got a hold of Timmy Ryan. He's getting a hold of Timmy Ryan to he wanted some more support, I guess. So he's making whatever changes with Timmy Ryan, and then he's gonna stamp them and get them to us. He called me this week. Just a few changes that he wanted to make.
Yeah.
Make sure it was just a little more buffed up, I guess.
Did the old kitchen and bathroom facility get removed from the rec park yet?
The old one? Like, been gone for
The
a
old
long
rec,
time.
oh, it has, okay,
Been gone for a long time.
that's, and Dick, congratulations, thanks for everything you've done during this flooding period and the fire department. That's it.
Yep.
They covered everything.
I only got a couple things left, because we went over a lot of it here. A couple quick things. The Chazy Lions Club has asked that I bring it up, and we have a resolution tonight. They'd like to install a hot water tank in the new bathrooms just for the sink, so that they're able to do dishes in the new part. It's not gonna be, obviously, they're not gonna hook it up to the bathrooms themselves for the amount of time it's used in the bathrooms. I mean, they just wanna do it for capability of washing dishes in the new part. And they're gonna do it at their expense. They're gonna have, they're gonna do all the wiring, installation, no cost to the town at all. They just want our permission to be able to do that. And I went down to the rec park with Tom the other day, and he showed me where he thought it'd be a good idea to put it and how to wire it. And,
What size they're looking at?
oh, probably just a little 30-gallon, just enough to wash. We did it in the other building. We don't need anything huge, just, it's nice to be, last year it would've been nice to be able to do dishes in 2 different spots. I mean, it's a pretty busy time, and we only have one little sink in the other buildings, and we got that big sink in the new building, and it's just, we have no hot
Yeah.
water, so it's just a nice addition that we
Good.
give them permission, so.
You got a resolution here?
Yeah. Just to let you know too, good news, mortgage tax, for the same period, as last year is up, which is nice. We went from 14,000 last year to 22,000 this year, so that's always a help. One thing I did want to discuss, which I think we need to revisit again, is like you had brought up, Kathy. The resolution we had done before for the vacant, the people that were going away, and we were going to allow them to not pay for their, we were gonna have them pay for the debt service but not the use. I think we need to think about that. Now, we did help out the library. Thank you. That was out somewhere. But I think we're opening a can of worms by doing this. I think we really need to think about this and maybe rescind that resolution, because everybody's gonna come after us. I mean, now we got the Presbyterian Church asking us to do away with their water usage, and personally, I think we're opening up a big can of worms. There's gonna be one right after another now, just give me a break, give us a break, because we're this organization or that organization, you know, we still gotta pay debt service on these things, and we still gotta maintain the lines for shutting it off, turning it on, I mean, everything's gotta be ready to go all the time, and I just thought we needed to readdress this and think about this a little bit more, and, it's a hard thing to do, but we're opening up a big can of worms by allowing this, I think.
So you're saying to rescind what we did for the library?
Yes, and if we do it for them, we're gonna have to go back to the library for the Presbyterian Church, we're gonna have to go back to the library and say, we're sorry, but if we're gonna charge for our water system and our use and everything, we're gonna have to do it one for all and not go through this once a month when people come at us and say, you know, we'd like a break, and it's just gonna,
What are we gonna do?
and then we got household owners that want breaks now, and, you know, when they go on vacation, and you can't do that. I mean, we've got a system to keep up, and
How will we handle, if they wanna shut off, I'm gonna be gone for 6 months?
they still gotta pay debt service, still gotta pay, you know, the regular monthly charge.
Usage.
Well, they get 7,000 gallons a month included in their price, so
Right.
they won't have any overage, but they're gonna have to pay the regular fees.
So we're gonna change the date resolution that we just did.
Right. That's just a suggestion. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
that's
up for discussion, so
suggestion, yeah. Rescind it.
I don't know if it was a good idea to do this. And
But I mean, the vacancy one wasn't really what the Presbyterians wanted, they wanted a
Well,
break.
Well,
The
they
vacancy to me is different issue
have,
than
right now,
somebody not wanting to pay their whole bill, because they're.
the Presbyterian
falling on
Church
hard
though
times.
is vacant right now, okay? They don't have a pasture over there.
Right,
So they were in there cleaning and
but
painting
the
and
water was
whatever.
still on.
Correct.
I
Right, but
think
they
Tom's
don't
talking
have
about the house.
Right.
But
They
they
didn't want
wanted us
water off
But
to,
nobody was actually living there.
But they didn't want the water off.
You're talking about the
If
house.
you want the water shut off at the main for 6 months.
Yeah. Tom's
You know,
talking
that's
about
vacant.
just the house.
Right. I said this when we did it for the library, I didn't agree with it, because that's exactly what was gonna happen. And here they're knocking.
and like I say, you're gonna have, everybody goes to Florida, they're gonna tell us they want their water shut off and they want a break. Yeah, I mean, we got a system to pay for and it's, you know, we're having lots of trouble with pumps and probes and you name it. I mean, it's costing a lot of money for this water station and we need to make sure we cut money.
But then you're gonna spend more by putting a roof over the waste system down there. So I mean, I think we really need to look at that a little bit harder as far as, you know, do we wanna spend $30,000 to put a roof over that when we're having a hard time replacing pumps and probes?
But isn't that an issue of putting it over it to protect it, so that it operates efficiently?
Well, it was designed to be an open system.
It should have been covered in the beginning. I mean, really covered properly.
Yeah, but we haven't been bothered that much. But we've made some minor adjustments. You know, like we did with the pump station down at the bus garage, it cured that problem with the light bulb.
But we have to go down there and clean that one out every week, every Monday
Yeah, I know.
with a basket. Not
Yeah,
even, it
well,
doesn't,
it's
it couldn't
not-
handle it otherwise. We'd have real problems if we didn't do that.
Yeah, but you got a different situation, what you were talking about.
I guess the only thing that I have hard part to absorb is if somebody's not using a service, why should they have to pay for it? I mean, I can understand them paying for the debt service. I mean, that's all part of living in the water district, but if you're not using your usage of water, then why would you have to pay a fee over and above that? I guess I'm not comprehending
No,
that.
they're just paying for O&M, they're not paying anything for the use of the water. because-
Yes, they will, because they're gonna have to pay not only the debt
They're gonna be
service, they're gonna have to pay their basic,
They'll have to pay the basic 7,000.
right.
That's just for having that service available for.
But if you have it turned out where you don't need it,
We gotta have it ready in case if they decide they wanna put somebody in there tomorrow, we gotta be able to turn that water on immediately. Those pipes
but
gotta
should
be
you
ready.
charge,
Have
should
you
you
thought about adjusting your rate structure so that maybe the first 1,000 gallons is very inexpensive, 500 gallons, and then if anybody's using above that in a month.
Oh, we have the first 7,000 is free, don't we?
It's included in
It's included.
No, but
Or
for
set a
somebody that
fee for
isn't
turning
really,
on and off.
Right, that's what I was thinking, do a fee to turn it off and a fee to turn it back on.
We do have it,
Is,
Right.
is there a fee now?
How
yeah,
much?
we have a fee
Fifteen to turn on, fifteen
Yes.
to turn off.
for turn on and shut off, correct?
But what would that do to our budget if we've already budgeted for a certain amount of money? And if now we change that, how would that do to our budget? The income will not be there.
Or set a
That's all
minimum?
figures on that, Sue.
I think
Bill
there
has-
should be
I think
a
Bill has-
minimum though of, if somebody goes away for 3 weeks or a month and wants their water turned off, that's more of a nuisance than a,
Right. I
you know,
agree.
if they're gone for 4 months, set a minimum.
well, when you
Does that make
established this
sense?
other resolution though, you made it where it did not apply to seasonal or asking to be turned off. It was intended for uninhabited,
What we do with
properties
people with hot
Right.
water systems.
that weren't habitable.
We
Really,
define-
that's what you were
We
talking about.
define vacant.
Vacant and uninhabitable.
Right.
I mean, they were really something that was not, it was not intended, I thought you had some language in there referencing the fact that, if somebody was asking to turn it off for the winter season or something, that didn't apply. It was a habitable structure.
Right.
What about somebody with hot water system?
Well, then they wouldn't want it turned off. Or they shouldn't.
Well, they might have it winterized.
But I mean, that's their call with wanting it turned on or off.
But I think maybe, I hate to say it, but maybe Sue can come up with an equation like what Bill's saying and say, okay, for the first 1,000 gallons, this is what the rate is gonna be. So, and everybody would have to pay for that first 1,000, and then everything over and above that, up to the next 7,000 would be an adjustment of a different rate, right? And then it
Yeah,
you
that
could
could be,
equal, you could
even if
do,
somebody really isn't using the water, I mean, then
Right.
they're gonna pay something less, but still paying something towards O and M, because you're still maintaining the.
Well, they gotta pay,
lines and
they
all
gotta
that.
pay.
and you could do an
Yeah,
equalization
well,
where it
no,
come
they're
out to be
paying
the
bond
same.
and interest, debt service.
Yeah.
The B and I, the bond and interest, they're paying that, everybody has to pay that.
Right.
But the idea is, even if they're not using the system, their property is serviced by that system, and, they could ask to have it turned on and things like that. So there should be some minimum number that they're still paying to have that system available to them, even though they may not be using it. I was just suggesting that maybe if the number, just the number's cheap enough, if they really aren't using it, it's 500 gallons, or whatever number, I don't know what it is, 25 gallons, but if they're using anything above that, then it's gonna kick into the rate structure you have now, but if something below, they're still gonna be paying a number, but, and then you're not
Reduce.
messing with
Yeah.
turning on and off and everything else.
How hard would that be to
But
calculate?
again, it's now the time to do it. We already have our budget.
Kathy's got a great point, I think it's something you should put in
Now we're
place for
gonna
your
change.
next budget,
Yeah, we got a
something
budget.
available and,
We already got our budget in for this year.
right?
Right.
I haven't really written anything for the Presbyterian Church yet, so I don't know how to respond for them, or,
Well, their structure's really not vacant.
it is,
Nobody's living there.
because nobody's living there, it's empty.
But
Yeah, but there
But
were,
they have the
But
water
they have-
system
The
still
water's
on.
still on, they have
Right.
not asked us to take it off yet.
I would go along with what you suggested earlier, Sam. I think you should just revoke that, or rescind that resolution for now. And then develop something for the next budget.
What do
for the
we-
next budget, right.
What do we do?
There you go.
What do we do with the library?
Rescind it. That's what you just said.
But then you'd have to charge them for the prior usage.
No, I would say not, for the library, if you're rescinding it now, it's out of
They want it
effect.
for how
They've
long?
gotta pay,
Until they get up and running, which is probably about 2 more months.
so they're gonna pay 2 more months than maybe they weren't expecting.
Are
You
they
have to pay for
actually
that
that
service
close
2
to
months.
being?
Wouldn't be retroactive, I don't think
Are
you
they
can make it
actually that
retroactive,
close
you're
to
just
being
rescinding it
open?
now.
I
Right.
think so, I think it would be. up and
Rescind it
running.
as of this, whatever date.
Are they close to being up and running?
I don't know, I haven't spoke to anybody, so.
And honestly, you can make it effective 15 days from today's date, or
Well,
30
just-
days,
you just-
so the library still gets a little bit of a break, and they're gonna start
Well,
paying.
you have time to give them notice. so
Yeah,
they
exactly,
don't
so
just
they can
bill
prepare
it.
for it and know that they're gonna start paying. And as far as the other facility, I mean, the water hasn't been turned off. I mean, critical to this would be having your water
Yeah.
turned off. Otherwise,
Or having the meter pulled.
yeah, exactly, I mean, you have to have it turned on. How, though, in some of these places, if you're pulling the meters for water, how are you billing for sewer?
Well, what goes in goes out, that's how we bill.
I understand
Yeah.
that, but if you're pulling, so you're not billing them for sewer either?
Billing for the debt.
You,
Just the debt, but not
Just
the
O&M.
usage?
right,
But once
And-
again, you
and
have to
then
structure it for both.
Yeah, I think you should do it for both, I mean, tie it to both, but, anyway.
It's true.
Because you do have some water, not in sewer.
What is-
Some people have water, not sewer.
Right, okay.
Water only.
But for those that have sewer, you still would want that system that would charge them something, even though there may not be a tremendous amount of use. It doesn't require an amendment to your water code anyway. The water code talks about user fees, and from time to time, they can be set by the town board by resolution only. So it's not like we need to do a new local law or amendment to the existing water code. It's something that you as a board can do from time to time as you please. And it's just something, as it turns out, this isn't working as you've looked at it. So I think you're right, stop to rescind it, and then maybe evaluate it with something that could work better for everyone in the next year's budget.
I think we have to be careful too that you don't penalize the people who are on the
Right.
system just because this person has gone somewhere or
Yeah,
a place is vacant, that you're having,
we're
Mr.
contributing,
Rex,
we're
pick up-
contributing to,
you know,
Them
a
being
lost revenue.
Right, and I think that's why the plan of charging a certain amount for 1,000 gallons or 500 for both water and sewer would help that equation better than not, just charging for the debt service.
Well, you don't have anybody that really has their meter pulled when they go away though, right?
No,
No.
we turn it off, we curb stop.
Right.
So that means that water is right to that building. And
But you have people that do that now?
turn it off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
But they're still paying their minimum,
They pay,
their
Oh, yeah.
7,000,
the minimum charge is at
They're paying, right.
7,000.
so they're paying that.
Mhm.
Cause that would, if you have people that are doing that now, and we restructured the fees, that would definitely affect our income.
You're going from, let's just say water and sewer, you would be going from a base of 225 down to 110. So
Why would you go from 225 to 110?
if you didn't charge the O&M,
Oh.
the 110 is just debt retirement.
For water or for sewer?
That's that's both.
Well,
225 is your quarterly
Each.
bill.
Yeah, 225 is your
separate,
base
they're
per
separate
month.
accounts, your water.
Right.
Right.
I'm just giving you the whole.
Right,
bill.
right,
Yeah.
but you could still pick up, say, instead of 225 you could be, not go all the way to 110, it could be $50 or $60 additional. That would be if you're using less than
Mhm.
500 gallons or something. And not get into turning it on or off and all of those things.
Mhm.
But do we have enough flexibility in the budget? Probably not to lose that much revenue.
Well, it's something we
And
have
then
to
you
really
probably have to
look
raise
at.
the rates, like you said, the people that are using it are gonna be the ones to.
We just have to take a look at it
Right.
and do
Yeah,
some,
that's what you gotta do.
some configurations and.
How many more years is the debt service?
Water is 2019, sewer is the year of 2030.
Just in time to start redoing all this.
Starting sooner than later, I think.
Wow, that's service life.
Mhm.
Does anybody have anything else? Otherwise, we'll move to resolutions.
Now, do you have a resolution made for that?
Yes, to rescind it.
good.
Okay, the first resolution you have there is the resolution for complete heating service agreement for the Chazy Town Hall with room heating and air conditioning.
Have we received any other estimates for this? And is this including replacing all the parts as well, like a normal maintenance contract would at no additional charge?
It is for, I get it right here.
I don't think there's any maintenance contract that will cover the parts.
Yes, they do.
Really?
Yeah, at my home, if you have a service contract, they'll replace any part that needs to be replaced at no additional fee.
They charge you for it though.
No, they don't.
They don't charge you for the parts?
No.
And the name was?
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe you wanna circulate that card here.
Yeah.
I believe this is just
Are
labor
you partnering with?
for servicing machines and,
Church Oil, they have service contracts. They'll come out and they'll look at your furnace, and then after you get a service contract, if the zone valve needs to be replaced or any of those parts, then there's no additional charge. It's part of the service contract, and it includes cleaning once a year as well.
this basically is for 4 zones.
Wow.
And it basically is to maintain a circulator, zone valve, and flow valve. And I'm sure if there's any parts that go, that's gonna be extra. This is basically for him to come here and clean out the furnace and to keep everything going, but as far as additional parts, I would say no. He's not gonna cover.
But did we,
I've never heard of it.
It's similar to our
I'm shocked. I've never heard of it.
generators, right? Contract?
Provides year-round 24-hour service.
You know,
should we check with like maybe Carl Smith and Church Oil that have other, to see how that compares?
yeah, it's up to you.
And maybe see what their service contracts include.
You buy fuel from them.
No, you don't need to buy fuel from
You don't have to.
them. No.
You can have a service contract and you don't have to buy fuel from them.
With Carl Smith, you don't. He advertises on Hometown Cable all the time.
Yeah, but you pay for your service.
They have service contracts.
You still pay for it.
The service contract you have to pay for, yeah.
Right.
So we're gonna
Oh,
table that, or?
I can, yeah, we'll table this then, I'll get a couple more quotes for the next meeting and find out what they include. And I'll verify with John what it includes too.
Sounds like he may be including some of the parts too, though. Circulator and stuff you were saying.
See this, basically includes 4 zones. He says $100 per, $25 per zone, which is $100. Extra in his basic agreement is $269. But I'll have to find out what he includes. I'm sure he doesn't include any parts that he's gonna, I'll find out. I'll find out that one. And then the next one, we'll table that one.
The next resolution I have is a resolution to rescind, resolution number 33, 2/14/11, water rates extended time away vacant.
Now, is this the one where the library was granted whatever? I thought we did that before. 214 now.
No, I think that was a different
That was,
resolution.
different.
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I
So we
think
need to
they-
rescind that one too, right?
Library?
If that's what we're going to do.
Mhm.
Yeah, because this one is basically for vacant
Right.
homes,
But the library was done before this,
was.
because I think we cleaned up the word vacant, didn't we?
Yeah, we had something different.
Right.
Yeah.
Vacant means the building is empty and not
Right.
in use.
But I think the library was already
It was a month or two earlier.
at this.
Earlier, right?
So you're gonna have to table this and put the right date on it then.
Well,
no,
this
we
is
could
a
do this
different
one.
resolution.
But what you're saying is we want to
We want to do this one and the other one.
end the library
Right.
agreement.
So do we want to just add in here and resolution find it, or no? Do a whole separate one?
You guys are doing it.
I'm
only here to write.
Consistent, do it all together. and
Do
rescind
it all in one?
Yeah.
And you talked about maybe making it effective 50 days from this date, or
Right.
30 days or something. That's
Yeah.
recent.
Make it effective June 1st. Keep it easy.
So just put in addition, the one for the library, we want to rescind also?
Our agreement with the library to,
Discontinue.
Next bill in July.
also, whatever.
So you're gonna be,
Right,
Well, we'd only check in for a month prorated or something.
yeah.
Okay, that will cover the month, okay.
So you want it now therefore be resolved, the Chazy Town Board does hereby authorize that resolution number 33 of 2011, the water rates extended time away vacant, along with the resolution, whatever number it is, authorizing the library, what is it, we did today?
Library to not pay,
Whatever resolution it was,
Right.
authorize a resolution, authorize the library not to pay O&M and to take effect June 1st.
June 1st.
June 1st.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second
Okay, Counselor Dino made the motion, second by Counselor Devons. Any further discussion? Roll call, Counselor Lattimore,
Yes.
Counselor Dino,
Yes.
Counselor Devons,
Yes.
Counselor Trombley.
Yes.
Supervisor Speaker.
Yes.
Next one's a resolution authorizing the Chazy Lions Club to install a hot water tank in the new bathroom at Chazy Rec Park.
No, I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Who's second?
I did.
Chris.
Now, is that part used by other people if they rent the park also?
Sure.
And they
Yep.
have access to turn that on?
Yep.
The Lions Club, is it going to mind people who are renting for using that? I mean, it's going to be
It's not,
costing
it's
them
not,
money.
it's a town building, so it's, not-
Town's paying
they're all
for it.
town buildings.
I know,
So
but who's paying the electricity for hot water tank?
it's gonna be on,
Down.
Town.
Okay, that's what
Yeah,
I was
I mean,
wondering.
it's probably gonna be used.
But it only
The
happens.
Lions Club's gonna be using it probably twice a year, if we do a happy bike and,
Okay,
Old Home Day, that's about it.
okay.
And the other people, Tom and Bottom, will have to be in control of their day event or whatever.
Tom will be the one that will turn it on and off, the hot water.
I'll talk to them about it. You flip a switch, I guess. If they wanna use it,
You wanna use it?
yeah. So maybe they won't even wanna use that part at all, they'll just want the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, motion made by Counselor Trombley, second by Counselor Lattimore. Roll call, Counselor Lattimore,
Yes.
Counselor Dino.
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley,
Yes.
Supervisor Speaker.
Yes.
Next one, budget transfers.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Chris made the motion, second by Counselor Devons. Roll call, Counselor Lattimore,
Yes.
Counselor Dino,
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley,
Yes.
Supervisor Speaker.
Yes.
And the last one I have is payment of claims.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that one.
Counselor Devons made the motion, second by Counselor Trombley. Roll call, Counselor Lattimore,
Yes.
Counselor Dino,
Yes.
Counselor Devons.
Yes.
Counselor Trombley,
Yes.
Supervisor Speaker.
Yes. Make a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Counselor Lattimore made the motion. You want a second?